So one of the challenges with most blockchains is onboarding. How do you get people able to actually participate on the network? And this is challenging because of something called gas. Gas is the fee that someone needs to pay in order to make any transaction on the chain. See, usually, like when you're using an ordinary, database-based system, you're kind of expecting your vendor to have a paid relationship with some database in the back end, and they're actually responsible for taking care of the reads and writes, the database, and managing all that stuff and what have you. But blockchain doesn't work that way because blockchain, the idea is you have this public network that everybody is managing, and that everybody has access to. But that writing to it therefore needs to be copied among all of these thousands of validator nodes and anybody who's going to have access to it. So that creates this weird phenomenon in blockchain where the writes are much more expensive than the reads, and somebody's got to be paying for that because nobody's paying for it at the beginning, and there's no sort of vendor on high who's doing it. So it's just us as consumers, and that means we pay in the form of gas. This is the original utility for the Ethereum token. So usually, one has to pay gas on your own, and that's what you have here, where you have a user, and the user needs Ethereum for gas. So you got to go pay in Ethereum in the token in order to pay for whatever their transaction is going to be, even if they're about to get paid, right? Even if that person is like just running some smart contract in order to get paid for, receive some amount of token, they still need to put in the token, which means if they don't have that token to begin with, it doesn't work. Now, for many of us in the first world, it's not challenging. You go to Coinbase, what have you, get your token. But if you are in the third world and being unbanked, that can be relatively challenging. So the answer is OpenGSN. OpenGSN is a protocol and actually a network of what are called relay servers that have the job of basically paying for the transaction. And you can set up your smart contract to use GSN to pay for the gas for your customers. And then that way they can come in with whatever their wallet is. They don't have to give up any security, what have you. And they're able to just come on in and then make the transaction. The way it works is instead of the user saying, hey, I've got to go pay Ethereum in order to register this transaction on the network, I need to I'm just going to sign a transaction. That signed transaction, I'm going to go ship not to a regular Ethereum endpoint, but rather to the gas station network. The gas station network says, oh, hey, thanks for that contract there. That's wonderful. And oh, wait, there's this other contract that's supposed to pay for your transaction. And that other contract called a paymaster has the job of sending back the, hey, here's what you're supposed to do, and send it back to the user, and then send the user the relay server, the one who has to assign transaction, has responsibility for actually running that transaction on your contract, paying the gas that the paymaster did. And then that way everybody's happy. So one of the neat things about this is that you actually don't have to put very much ETH into your paymaster contract. You can just put in a little bit, and then it goes a long way because you're only using it to pay for gas. And of course, you're only using it to pay for transactions you actually approve of it paying for, which is also kind of handy. And then it then turns around and pays the contract. So really, it will create a tax on the gas in your contract, because anything that goes to the paymaster is obviously going to have two transactions, like one with the paymaster, which obviously is going to cost a certain amount of gas, and another one with the contract. But then it's done. And from the user's point of view, they spent nothing. From your point of view, you spent the gas on their behalf and sort of doubled up on it. But that can be a pretty good deal depending on what your use case is. So 3 major steps you're going to need to remember. You need to make a paymaster contract. You're going to need to make your contract that actually does the work a relay recipient, which means it knows how to go listen to the signals from a paymaster. And then finally, it's going to need to use the relay provider, a special provider that will talk to these relay servers that have the job of sending over the signed transactions and making use of the paymaster, et cetera, which means it doesn't use your ordinary, Infura or what have you endpoint. And once you put those 3 things together, and actually it's not that many lines of code, you will have a whole system where somebody can come on, they set up MetaMask or Coinbase wallet or whatever. They have they create a wallet, which doesn't cost anything because that's just math. And then it will let them do transactions with you. and they will never have to get any Ethereum, and they can just simply do the work, and it'll be as them. And now you have separated the question of being able to onboard them from a coin point of view from onboarding them from an authentication point of view. And that can be a really, really neat position to be in. So the OpenGSN is a public consortium. They have excellent documentation. I can't recommend it enough. And it's definitely something to be checking out if what you're trying to do is bridge people who previously were in Web 2 world into Web 3 world. And if you want to learn more about it, I'm always glad to jam about this thing, and I would love to talk to you.